Good evening, everyone, and welcome to ECCE Insights, which is part of the webinar series by the SEGi Group of Colleges. I'm Carolyn, the moderator for today's session. So before we begin, we need to do a quick tech check just to find out whether everyone can hear me and can see the screen. So can I invite you to just type yes in the comment section if you can hear me and see me, or give us a thumbs up, yeah? Okay, I think we're good, yes? Okay, thank you so much for the feedback. And it's wonderful to see so many of you here this evening joining us for our webinar entitled ECCE Insights. So as we wait for others to join us, we invite you to introduce yourself in the chat box. Let us know where you are from. Let us know if you are a principal, an owner, a teacher, an administrator, a caregiver, an ECCE student, or a parent. So it's wonderful that we have so many of you joining us this evening, and I would like once again to welcome each and every one of you to this evening's live webinar, ECCE Insights. And what we hope to achieve tonight is to provide a deeper understanding of the ECCE industry as we face the COVID-19 crisis. So once again, my name is Carolyn, the host for this evening's session, and I am from SEGi College, Subang Jaya. This evening, we are wonderfully honored to have three speakers who will join us, who will be covering on three different issues. Firstly, they will look at how they are currently dealing with the COVID-19 crisis. Secondly, they will share ideas on how they will move forward. And finally, they will talk about the driving force that helps them to differentiate themselves from the others and to serve the needs of the children and families in their communities. So now we're going to meet our three speakers, and as we bring them in one by one, if you are friends of our speakers or if you know of them, do send them a comment in our chat box to let them know that you are here. So our very first speaker, we have Mr. Cheah Khoon, the Managing Director of Talento Academy. Mr. Cheah and I are old friends. We have been sitting together on the Executive Committee of the ECCE Council since it first began back in 2011. Mr. Cheah is also the industry advisor of the Early Years Education degree that we run in collaboration with the University of Greenwich, UK. Despite all these years of knowing Mr. Cheah, I have never called him Khoon. It's always Cheah or Mr. Cheah. So over to you, Mr. Cheah. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. Yeah, I didn't know that you don't know my name is Khoon. So I now officially tell you that my name is Khoon. Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Cheah. I'm the Managing Director of the Talento Academy. And it is a pleasure for me to be here with you all this evening. So I would like to just share a little bit about my background here. I think you all know that I'm from Talento Academy. That is the one. And I'm also a committee from the ECCE Council. And also I'm the advisor for the Persatuan Guru Tadika Malaysia. And I spend most of my times in the kindergarten. So this year will be my 21 years old, where I already in the kindergarten industry. And I also work with the Ministry of Education in the curriculum standard process called Kebangsaan, which I'm one of the panelists. And all this while, I'm trying to push my team to implement all the necessary curriculum transformation and the new approach. And I know that it's very difficult, but to be say that actually I'm very lucky because my kindergarten was recognized as a benchmarking preschool in Malaysia. And I believe that you all have gathered here to explore for a wise solution and to clear doubt in our mind throughout the pandemic. So am I. So I think this will be a short introduction for myself. I pass back to you, Kelly.
Thank you, Cheah. Next, we have Mr. Jerry Yeo, another male leader in our female-dominated industry. Jerry is the founder and executive director of White House Penang. So I first got to know Jerry back in 2018 when he helped the ECCE Council organize our National ECCE Week in Penang. Jerry is the industry advisor for the ECCE programs that we offer in SEGi College Penang. And we have quite a number of projects that are upcoming with White House as well. So Jerry, what else can we say about you?
Thank you, Caroline. It's a pleasure to be here today with every one of you. My name is Jerry, as you all know, and I'm fondly known as Uncle Jerry by all my young children in school. So if you see me outside, you can call me Uncle Jerry. Basically, something about myself. We are based in Penang. We have been in 10 years in operation in Penang. We started as a very small kindergarten, and recently we were invited by the state government and also the Penang Tech Dom Berhad, the science center in Penang, to launch the first kindergarten in the science center in Malaysia. We publish books as well. All our programs are published in-house. And basically, I also do a lot of engaging work with the state government in various capacity, such as in the public library, family development, Penang Educational Council, and so forth. So that's all about for me. Back to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Jerry. And I can see quite a number of comments, yes, in the chat box saying hi to Uncle Jerry. Yes. So last and definitely not the least, we have our very own Michelle Huan. Michelle was one of our students on the Montessori diploma that we offered on behalf of Montessori International UK. I will leave it to Michelle to tell us her move from being a pharmacist to an ECCE practitioner and now a lecturer here at SEGi College, Subang Jaya. Over to you, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you, Caroline. It's my pleasure, yes, to be here tonight, to see my students appearing one by one, and to be alongside with two practitioners, to share the night with you. Yes, I started off being a pharmacist, and I don't think a lot of my students know about this part of my history. I escaped from pharmacy and I ended in early childhood, which is a decision that I never regret and never look back. And it was mostly due to the fact that when I first started to have my own child, I see the need to have quality early childhood education. So, in fact, my son is listening to me tonight. So, looking forward to hear your sharing as well. Back to you, Caroline.
Okay, so there we have our three presenters for tonight. We would like to thank all of you for the questions that you have sent in. The questions have been shared with our speakers. Our speakers will attempt to address as many of your concerns this evening. So if you wish to respond, comment, or even challenge any of our speakers on points that they have raised, we invite you to do so using the chat function. But there will also be a question and answer session at the end, together with announcements on how you can get your certificate of participation. So without any further delay, we're going to move to the very first question that we will be addressing in tonight's session. So our very first question would be to our speakers, how they are dealing with the COVID-19 threat in their respective organizations. We will also invite our speakers to talk a little bit about the X factor that differentiates them from the others. And as they are doing their session, we would also like to invite all our viewers, as you listen to the sharings of our speakers, to write in the chat box what you believe to be the X factor of each of them. So I'm going to hand over the session to Mr. Cheah. to talk about how he is dealing with the COVID-19 threat. So over to you, Mr. Cheah.
Okay. Thank you, Caroline. So I think, well, from my side here is actually quite similar with all others ECCE industry, where we are implemented the online teaching throughout the MCO period. So if you ask me what is my X factor, I'm really have to think about it. But I don't think what I'm doing is a X factor, because our school is focused on the learning corner and project approach. So therefore, sharing will be focused on conducting the project learning throughout the online. So before I started go in depth to talk about it, I have to tell you that actually this the whole idea or the opinion that I come out is mainly my personal opinion. Doesn't represent any organization or any other parties. So, but I have to be frank is that actually this MCO make me have a more clear vision that children is not suitable for this online teaching. So after we experiencing about around 28 days of online teaching, I'm very sure that the online teaching is not really suitable for the young children. This is only my personal opinion. But somehow in this very critical moment, we still have to keep in touch and contact with the children. So that's the reason why that we're still using it. So okay, so I will start that as our children, the 6 years old class this year, they are showing interest in the building and construction at the very beginning of year. And the other group of the children in the same class also, they are showing another interest is about the music. So actually, we are going to show you that what is this going about before the MCO. So at the very, very beginning of the year, the children is showing a lot of interest on the staircase. You might not know why the children want to study about the staircase, but we also don't know yet. This project is going to carry on maybe until another few months. Then only we will find out that what is going to happen in the next. But the children was showing they are using the giant blocks in their constructive corner, and they start calculate the quantity and write it down, and they want to use the giant block to build a staircase. So this is what they are doing. And before the MCO, actually, they are stopped until the stage that they already write a letter to me, and they are asking for budget, just like you asking budget from our government for the grant. Okay, my children asking budget from me to buy the plywood. So they are going to cut the plywood, and you see one of the child is measuring the giant block, and they want to nail and build up the giant block. I think it's around 60 pieces, because they need extra 60 pieces. So they're writing the letter to me, and the budget actually was approved, but I haven't passed it to them yet, and the MCO is coming, so they will stop there. So this is one of the project that is happening in the class. The second one is about the music, the percussion music. So the other group of children, actually, they are interested in the music, and we are giving them a few musical instruments. There's this one that I bought it from Taiwan, and this musical instrument is very interesting because it's designed for the pregnant mommy, where you can just tap the bell and you can hear the sound. So they are doing quite a lot of trying and to play with the song. They start the song with the Old MacDonald Have a Farm, and then they start playing it with different kind of instrument. And you can see on the slide on your right, there's a two photo where you can see two adults is walking up a staircase and coming down, and you can see that the staircase actually have a light. And this is part of the project that we are trying to carry on in the online. And our teacher is struggling that to tell the children that how can we merge the music and the staircase together. That's why our teachers show this short video clip to them and telling them that actually in China, there's in the underground, there's a staircase that actually when you walk up to the staircase, you can hear the sound and music. And every step you step on it, they have a different note on that. So after the children was looking at the short video, then they start discussing, very, very busy discussing about the project, and they are thinking that how to make their house staircase to become similar or look like the staircase in the Guangzhou that we show them. So now I'm going to show you video. Idea and the snap short video clip to us, and my teacher already edited it into a short one for you all to see. Let's have a look on the video.
How I wonder what you are. A, C, G, A, G, F, F, E, E, B, B, C.
Okay, so what do you see there? Actually, we found that the children was really enjoying and participating in the project that we are trying to scaffold to them while they are in the house and at home together with the parents. And I will have one simple question to ask you. Actually, what do you think? Who is gaining the most in this online learning? Which one you think? You think it's the child, or it's the teacher, or it's the parents? Which one? You can text in and anything that you shoot there. But what I'm trying to share with you is actually the parents gain a lot, because throughout this online project learning, the parents learn how to observe the child, and also they try to learn how to communicate with them, and at the same time they are trying to learn how to scaffold together and work together with them at the same time. This is what we want really that we implement in the school, and also we learn in the colleges. Where we talk about the Vygotsky, how to help the ZPD theory there. So I believe that the children can do anything with the help of the adult. And in this online teaching, actually, the parents play a very, very important role. So this will be my short presentation to sharing about what I'm doing for this MCO. Okay, I think we also want to know that what is happening in the White House, right? Jerry, can you share with us?
Sure. That was wonderful, Cheah. It was a wonderful staircase.
Thank you.
Scaffolding thing. All right. So for White House, we were a bit lucky. We actually started our online learning since the first day of MCO, and we call it the global classroom. So what happened with the global classroom is actually we bring teachers from all over the world to support our teaching to all the children. How we do it was we actually try to mimic a real classroom environment, meaning that we do it every day and 2-3 hours a day approximately, with breaks in between. We try to stimulate a real classroom environment every day so that the children are, still learning in a way where they're like learning in school. Talking about the X factor that we have, our X factor actually happened pre-MCO, not during MCO. White House is a very unique school in Penang, so those who actually enroll in our school really understand what we are doing. So the X factor is that they believe in what we believe in, and that's the reason why during MCO we are able to run online classes, and the children are able to adapt in a short time with their parents' involvement. We're very lucky with that. We have a lot of programs running like Exploration Week and this weekend the Immersion Week. So I would like to share with you a video on what we did during Exploration Week last week. So have fun.
Your window. Cross the bridge.
Thank you, CY, for the video. Melanie, I saw that you're asking us, are we using technology in our classroom prior to MCO? The answer is no. On the contrary, that's the reason why we are successful during MCO. The reason why is because we are very focused on real human interaction in classroom. So basically, we do not have a computer in the classroom. We do not use apps in the classroom. We do not use multimedia teaching in the classroom. So teachers are very used to doing live teaching. So what we did was we are just using Zoom as a communication tool instead of a technology, instead of a teaching technology to actually reach out to our children during MCO. So that's what we did. How we do it, it was interesting. So if you see the first teacher on the video, it's actually a SEGi student, ex-SEGi student who is now a teacher. She's teacher Hong. She's doing very well in our school, and she enjoys doing creative teaching and things like that. All right. Basically, that's what I have. I'm going to pass to Michelle and see what she has in store for you next. Michelle?
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. It's so inspiring to see Cheah's school and also Jerry's school, how you manage to engage children during this MCO period. And I wish that we have children to deal with at the same time here. So, but back in college, our situation is different. We are dealing with adult learners, and of course, online learning is the thing to go. Yeah, even way before MCO, our college has an online learning platform for our students. So with MCO kicks in, the transition was actually quite smooth. But of course, there are certain technology that the student need to get used to, and also lecturers need to get used to. We need to transform certain things, certain assignments. But I think it turned out to be quite good. Yeah, our students survived. Yes, and when I also have a privilege to see to a school how they transform from not online learning into online learning, and I was very fortunate to be able to be part of the advising team. And just to share with you, initially this school was totally not prepared for online learning, and when MCO hits, they were quite lost. I think the teachers were all quite lost. Even the principal was quite lost, and they don't know what to do. And after like two weeks plus, yeah, after the first phase of MCO, it was so wonderful to see teachers uh, taking the initiative now, beginning to see things differently, are willing to change their own practices and making it work for online learning. Of course, it's not easy. Yeah, as we all know that children, they learn best by direct experiencing. But we just have to make the best out of the situation now. What is the X factor? Well, for my students, I think attitude is the X factor. Yeah, attitude of how you see yourself, how you choose to do the best, no matter what the situation is. And I'm glad our students survive and manage, and still managing. And whereas X factors for schools, I have seen a lot of good examples of online learning programs that our students who are currently working in preschool have come up with. Yeah, some of them have even proudly emailed it to me to let me have a look. Yeah, which I see that it is very wonderful things that comes out from our students. And of course, this is part of their training. Yeah, a lot of subjects that they take back in the college. It is a requirement that they incorporate ICT tools into their teaching, teaching method. So if teachers have been properly trained, I think it is doable. Yeah, and the X factor is you must begin with the child. Yeah, everything that you do, you must have the child in mind. So that's all my sharing. So back to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Cheah, and thank you, Jerry. We are going to bring back in the speakers because after each question that we ask, we will also pick up a question that has come from our audience, and we will have our speakers address that question. So while we are, okay, here we have a very interesting question from Suking. Based on the sharings of the gentlemen in particular, both our gentlemen have shown wonderful ways, yes, in which teaching can actually go online, yes, and they have a very different take on online teaching, where teaching is like a communication, and I absolutely love the way that project approach can be taken back home, yes, with the parents, yes, and Michelle talked about attitude, and all of this is super challenging, which is why I appreciate Suking's question on teachers being burned out because of online teaching, and many schools might not even be doing what Jerry and Cheah are doing. Yes, so let me see, yeah, by a show of hands, yes, which one of you would like to take this question? Okay, Jerry, over to you.
All right. Okay, just to share with you, during this MCO, my teacher worked doubly hard, just to share with you. They have to do mock teaching every afternoon before the class tomorrow. So, we have morning classes, and then they take a break at 3 p.m. All my teachers will go back into Zoom to actually have mock classes and discuss and have discussion to prepare for tomorrow's lesson, because our lessons are all integrated. So all the teachers will be in and out from the classrooms doing different tasks. Yes, it's going to be challenging. Everything in the world is challenging. You need to work hard for your money. What was the X factor that did it for my teacher was the teacher helped their own teachers. So everyone was actually backing up each other. Everyone was giving comments. Everyone was, trying to help each other to be better. And I think that helps everybody to feel more comfortable, feel more relaxed. And after every day of lessons, you will see in a WhatsApp, well done, teacher, well done, good job. And then some will say, thank you for backing me up today. My line was bad. Thank you for coming in. You have all this coming in, and for me, it creates a stronger bond between the teachers of my school, actually. Give and take, basically. Right? Maybe Cheah and Michelle might have some thoughts on this.
Yeah,
I let you raise your hand, man. Cool.
Yeah, because we are preschool students, so we have to raise up our hand before you talk. Right? This is one of the basic rule in the online teaching. You have to raise up your hand before you talk, right? So that your teacher can unmute you. Okay. I totally agree that teacher have to work double, but I think if you look carefully in my eyes, you know the boss is working harder than the teacher, right? And actually, there's no shortcut in this period. I believe that no one was predict that this will happen, and we have to jump into this situation at this very critical moment, and we have to learn something which we never learned in the college. So I think SEGi is going to have a what I call a technology class to teach all the teachers on how to handling the what I call live teaching. Just in case future we have what I call the haze or all kind of disease coming in, then we still have to conduct the learning. But what I'm trying to answer the teacher is actually that it's the leader. I think it's the school leader that how you conduct the message to the teacher, why they should do so. Because once they found out the meaning of doing it, they are willing to do it without you asking them. So even you didn't tell them that how long that you need to work or how many hours you need to work. But once they understand all this is doing for the good of the children, they will just do it. So same like us. What we are doing is actually we are meeting every day, and also we are trying to do better and better for the next day. So this is my personal comment. Okay, that's all.
Okay, all right. Maybe I can add in. Interestingly, the question mentioned burnout. So lecturers back in college also burn out. I think it applies to everyone because it applies to all industry, I guess. Stress, yeah, at this very moment, nobody knows what will happen. But the thing is, no choice. We all need to adapt. So everyone needs to be more understanding towards one another, and as principal, more understanding for your teachers, and also as teachers, more understanding towards your boss, because your boss need to pay the rental, right? Yeah. So collaboratively, everyone needs to pull together and sail together. Yeah.
Okay, so if we look at it, yeah, what is actually allowing industry, the ECC industry, to move forward is very much the qualities that we actually want to see in our ECCE staff. We want to see that passion, because if you have that passion for the children, nothing is going to stop us, whether it's COVID-19 or whatever else that's going to attack us in the future. If we have that attitude that Michelle talked about, yes, with good leadership, working together, yeah, when we have all of this, we can pull through. So thank you for your feedback on this question. So we are now going to move on to the second question. Yeah. So we have seen what they have talked about, our speakers. So when we are living in our COVID-19 times, and these are horribly uncertain moments in our lives. This morning, I was with a chat group that was discussing on the SOPs for the opening of the Taskas. And then I went to another group and they were asking, can we open on Talento or can we not? We live in such uncertain times. So it will be really wonderful if each of us could have a crystal ball that could show us what tomorrow will be like, or next week, or next month, or next year. But we don't have that ball. So the next best thing that we have are our esteemed speakers. So we're going to start with Mr. Cheah, who will kind of like talk to us about what he sees as the future of ECCE in Malaysia. So sub-questions like, will he see whether there'll be changes in how families would want to use ECCE services? Will there be changes in how people will select the ECCE services and programs? So Mr. Cheah, tell us what is the future of ECCE in Malaysia. Over to you.
Okay. Seems like I'm going to be the fortune teller, right? So, but what I'm trying to say is actually I can't really tell you what is going on or what is going to happen in the future very precisely. But from my perspective of view, that actually this MCO and also the COVID-19, and it bring me to a concept that actually I recall back in the year of 2004, and it's 26th of December, where the Indian Ocean earthquake and also the tsunami come, and it took more than 23,000 lives. And one of our nearest neighbor, Thailand, was one of the most badly affected, and some of it's even in the Phuket. So just imagine this: we gather all the primary school kindergarten, the whole nationwide, and we place all these kindergarten in one of the small island, which near the beach side, and they are putting in a different level. Some of them in a very high position, one in the middle, one in the low. Then when the tsunami come, it will cover and hitting all those kindergarten in different level. So coming up next is actually you can imagine the building collapse. Some of the kindergarten can't operate anymore, and that's what going on now. And we know that actually the tsunami is definitely destroyed the existing ecosystem. So since I'm a student study degree in the human development of the Faculty of Ecology of UPM, and actually we know that this pandemic will change our current ECCE ecosystem. Which are the things that is going to change? From my perspective, it's actually number one is the teaching approach. The teacher teaching approach will be changed. The second is the communication with parents will be changed. And the third one will be the management of the school will be changed. So I think there's one thing that I heard from one of the feedback from the parents. Because I'm in the NGO, so I always receive feedback from the parents and also the principals also. There's one parents told me that, called me that and asked me that actually your school doing the online teaching or not? How are you doing? What are you doing? And after I reply everything, and she suddenly tell me one thing. She said that, Mr. Cheah, I decided to quit from my current kindergarten. I say, why? Why you do that? She gave me a very straightforward answer. Because I see the truth. Oh, I suddenly stunned there and I don't know what she's trying to say. And I asked her, what have you seen? What you mean is the truth? She said that actually she realized that the teachers are not professional. And sometimes even unable to pronounce accurately, just like me. So every time I pronounce lolly, I will say lolly. I'm not pronouncing lorry, right? So parents start comparing when they see the children is doing the online and they're sitting there with the children looking at the teacher conducting. So this will giving a real impact to the parents, and they will see that, oh my God, oh my goodness, my children is studying with this teacher. So that is the one thing that is going to hit badly to our ECCE industry. Because previously they send the children to the school and actually they don't know what is going on inside, but now they have seen it. So this is one of the things that is going to change. And also the second one is actually the management system. Like, how are you going to handling this, handling or communicating with the parents? These are all the things is going to change. And last time we are trying to be very comfort and slowly, but now you see after this tsunami, we call it COVID tsunami. Parents is getting know the kindergarten, even though the operation they can compare, they can go to online and see a lot of things there. So I think this is going to be a what you call impact to our ECC industry. The second one is actually the teachers. Besides, I'm talking about the professionalism in teaching. The second one is actually now our teachers realize that they have to learn different kind of skill, which means they need to have the multi skill. it's not only from teaching only. They like now they are doing the broadcast. Like last week, we invite one of the DJ from the radio station to coach our teacher how to be a effective broadcast. So this is going to be something which is totally new that we never thought that we have to learn. So in future, the teacher skill, they need to be cross to other area that they have to learn. Like example, how to using the computer, do the broadcast, using the apps or the Zoom or whatever, to make sure that all these things is happen. But after this MCO finish, teachers will bring all this knowledge and skill into their classroom. So you can see that the teaching, the quality of teaching and the content of teaching is going to be more wonderful. This is what I see from the very positive part. So I think this is what I can see for the after this MCO lifted and also what is coming up. And this ECCE ecosystem needs time to build it back. And how long? I don't know. But bear in mind, all the operators need to recover as soon as possible. And time is really short. If you really can't recover it as soon as possible, you might face another issue soon. This is what I can see, okay? This is only my personal opinion, doesn't mean anything. So maybe you can hear about what Jerry said.
Thanks, Cheah. I think I agree with most all your points. Basically, what happened was I want to share with you some personal experiences that when we run our school in Penang. Would you believe it if I tell you that we do have inquiry during MCO period to actually come and study in our school, and we actually gave students to actually log into our online lessons just for trial classes, and we did not even promote it. That is something that I think it's very true of what Cheah said. What happened was because of MCO, parents now know what is happening in school, and that changed the whole game. Basically, they know what they're looking for now. They know what's happening in school. They know what teachers are doing in school and what they're looking for in every single teacher, and that itself changed the whole game, the ball. All right. I want to share something more about what Cheah has continued. I'm relatively new in this industry. I'm just 10 years in this industry. So I do learn a lot from the masters in this industry. So I would like to share 4 quotes from the masters of the industry where I think it will be relevant for the future, where this is going to be very, very relevant for the future. The first is from Professor Dr. Cheah. She's the president of the ECCE Council of Malaysia. She's always into professionalism. So professionalism is going to be the way to go. All teachers has to be professional, operators to be professional, and professionalism has to be protected both ways. And I'm very sad, to see some schools are struggling with fees and deferment of payment. I think if things are professionally done, I think this should not have happened, right? Second thing I want to quote is actually another sifu of mine, Datin Razia, fondly known as Kak Razzi. She's the president of Nasim. For her, global connection is very important. Everything it's about that. So, and that is very true relevant now because we do not live in our own world anymore. We need help from other people. Things are going online. You can just get someone from New Zealand to come and tell a story. You don't have to fly him in anymore. You can get somebody from Brisbane to do a science experiment with your child. So the sky's the limit. So global connection, I think that is another important key point for the future. The third key point is actually one of, I think all of the panel would know today, Patricia Tay, Auntie Pat, I fondly call her. When I first know her about maybe 10 years ago or 9 years ago, one thing that strikes me about what she told me was that I remember today is that delivery matters. Whatever you do, you have to deliver. You have no choice. When you run a school, you have to deliver. And that's going to be even more critical post-MCO. Delivery, quality, it's everything. And last and not least, I want to share something from Evelyn Ling. I think she's the Vice President of MAPIS now. the key word is consistency. Whatever you do in post MCO, how you run your school, it has to be very, very consistent, because parents know what you're doing. Everybody knows what you're doing now. You know, you're at the eyes of everyone. You have to do that. And I would like to end with a quote. I saw a lot of questions today, you know, saying that how do we start, and you know, parents are ready, you know, are we ready, you know, children, how do we get them involved? I would just want to share with you this from Zig Ziglar. You don't have to be great to start. You have to start to be great. So you have to start somewhere, you know, even in virtual teaching, you have to start somewhere. You just can't wait for everything to be ready, you know, to everything to be very nice and cozy before you start, right? So the post MCO in the future, you know, you just have to start moving, and that's the key. You know, you just have to start moving. So maybe Michelle will have more things to share with you about this. ECCE.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. I totally agree. When Cheah says tsunami, actually, when I first hear the term tsunami, it is very scary. And but it is the true fact. We are being hit by a tsunami, and it's not just Malaysia; it's the whole world. And a lot of things will need to change. A lot of good points being brought up. Now that a lot of teachers are teaching online, if technology is available in that part of the world, it makes the teaching very transparent to parents. Yeah, it used to be parents just send their children to school, and they just pay money, and you know, children are supposed to do homework in school, and at the end of parent teacher day, at least the teacher can tell the parents what the child has learned and show workbook. But when you start teaching online, everything is transparent, and parents now see how lessons should be conducted. Hopefully the teachers are showing the right thing, and so that parents can see what is considered good quality. Yeah. So but what is important is that we shouldn't be afraid to show how we teach, as long as you are doing the right thing, as long as you know what you are doing, like what Cheah and Jerry has mentioned: delivery, consistency, professionalism. Instead of fearing what the parents will see, how you teach, you should instead include parents in the job of teaching. Actually, we need the parents now. We need the parents to help us to be with their children when their children are learning. So a lot of concern has been brought up. E-learning, is it for very young children? Of course, if we have a choice, children should learn concretely from real materials, real experiences. But when now we don't have the choice yet, we have to make the best out of the situation. That's why children are with the parents 24 hours a day. Yeah. And we need to make parents our partner. We always say homeschool partnership. So this is the real time that you need to support the parents, in order for the parents to also support you, and ultimately both you and the parents are doing it because of the children. Yeah, we are all doing it because of the children. So a lot of things will need to be transformed. Maybe curriculum will need to be transformed. The way of learning will need to be transformed. Parents will have more choices on what type of services they want. And I guess policymakers might need to come into the picture. How do you reform the whole ECCE in the whole industry in Malaysia, or in the whole world? Yeah. So that is my take on it. So back to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Michelle. When I came up with this question, and when I shared the question with team of presenters, the first thing they asked me was, how honest do you want me to be? And I told them, yes, that at this point in time, we really, if we want our industry to grow, we have no choice, like what Michelle said. We have to look at things as they are. We have to speak about it. And that is why Mr. Cheah hit us with the tsunami analogy, yeah, which is what we are experiencing right now. And we are going to be taking a question from the audience. So as our administrator, okay, here it comes. Yes. Okay. Here's the question. It says, yes, it's from Rina. Rina says that when MCO is lifted, and we know that there are so many SOPs going around, she feels that the parents still will not want to send their children to school unless they have no choice. So what are we going to do about it? Yeah. How is that going to impact upon our industry when parents now decide that they don't want to send their children to ECCE centers unless they have no choice? How can we make it seem as though that we are still relevant? Who wants to answer?
Okay. I try to raise up my hand. Can I talk?
Okay, you can.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Cheah. Floor is yours.
But I think Uncle Jerry wants to talk first.
No, no. So I should raise two hands, right? No, you raise hands first.
Actually,
We line up.
I think we all of us were facing this situation where the parents were still reluctant to send the children back to the kindergarten or even the childcare. I understand this situation, and we are facing it now. Not only you, we are facing it now. What I mean is we as a operator as well, or practitioners as well. So we can't force them. So that's what I meant is actually that when this thing happen, you have to get ready that you cannot put hopes that once this MCO lifted and everyone will back to square. As I mentioned, the tsunami concept is actually that it's already destroyed the whole ecosystem, and it will take time to recover. So how long would it be? It totally depends on individual base. Just like when you look at the ecosystem, all the what you call the creatures or although the animals in the ecosystem, once it was destroyed, it will take years to what you call to come back. So from my personal perspective, actually you don't really bother or you don't really care that how many children is going to coming back. What you need to do is actually you have to look back into your kindergarten or childcare center, what you need to do to recover. What recover means that actually what you need to do is that you what else that you haven't do it well or do it good. This is the point that where you have to work it out, and you focus on what you need to do and make it better and better, and the children will be back as many as they can. But if you're doing not good and you are not focusing and you're focusing in the wrong way, that will be another tragedy for you. So personally, my personal opinion is that don't bother about the changes of the outside. Just like the Bronfen Brenner, right? We have a macro system, right? What is happening outside is really far from you. You don't really go to bother it. You just focus in your own center, your own teacher. You train your teachers, you get your teacher ready, and you get your facility, the school ready to be the tip-top condition, and the parents will understand and they will be back. And how long? I cannot tell you because I don't have the what you call crystal ball, right? It's with Caroline, not with me now. Okay. That's all
maybe, yeah, maybe I can add a bit to share with you what we're going to do. We did have this discussion internally in the team at White House. One of the things that we're going to do is actually we're going to continue our global classroom, our online learning, for at least a month, even the MCO is lifted. This is to ensure that those who don't have to come to school, they can stay at home, and while they are still doing something. Because like what someone he said, I need to find back. Well, there was one point here saying that they are not going back. Like Kevin, they're just worried about the health and concern of the child. So to me, this is a true problem thing. Too many children going back at the same time is also very dangerous for the school. All you need is just one more case and you're in trouble. So stagnation back, if the number of students is stagnation while going back to school, I think is a good idea. So what we're going to do is that, and I think a week ago, I gave a talk at the ECCE Council via Zoom, and I ended my speech, and then there was a lot of questions asking that parents are not supporting and things like that. My answer to that question will be the same that I'm going to share with you today. It's like, there are still children paying you. There are still children going to school. Please focus on these children. They need you. That means when they come back to school or they pay their fees, that means they support you. So please give your utmost effort, to support back these children, because they need you. And those who are not believer, I mean, they have various of reasons that you do not want to know, and that's not for you to know anyway. Right? Just focus on those who actually support you, and that's very important. Maybe Michelle, you have something to say?
Yeah, I feel it's a free market. Just like running a business, there are some takers and maybe some drop out. It's not within your control, like what Mr. Cheah is saying. But as long as you're doing the right thing, you might lose 2 children, but you might have 10 new ones coming to you because you're doing the right thing. So do what is within your ability, what is within your control. What is not within your control, then we just leave it to God, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, it was a tough question. Yes, and there were some really strong ideas that have been shared. And it's like when we look at what the team has shared on the future of ECCE, it will never be the same. That is one thing that we can agree, that it will not be the same. How it will change, we are not exactly quite sure, but some of the important things that have come up from the discussion would include things like, if you do it right, you have nothing to fear. And I'm quoting Michelle there. Somebody mentioned about recovery. Yeah, we will recover. Yes. How long it will take, again, we cannot say. Yeah. And so many very, very good points that have been raised. It all points back again to professionalism. And this is something that we have always advocated for. We need to be professional, which means we need to be trained. We need to have new skills. Yes, and when we have all of this, we will be prepared for the future. And the future, to a certain extent, is something that we can create. Yeah, so let's think a little bit about that. And we will have to move to the final question. The final question is a little bit simpler, because we have seen what our speakers have done in the past and are currently practicing. We have some idea of what they would be moving forward towards. So now we want to find out, what exactly is their driving force? The driving force that they have for themselves and for their organization, yes, when they are dealing with this current COVID-19 crisis. It has hit us in ways that are unbelievable, but we respond in so different ways. So how our team members have responded will reflect their driving force. So I'm going to begin this round with Jerry. Jerry, tell us, what is the driving force for you and your organization? Over to you, Jerry.
Thanks, Caroline. We have 2 major driving force. One is the children itself. When we started the first day of MCO, we had data from China saying that, look, MCO is not going to be for 2 weeks. It's not going to be as simple as that. Although CNN has not called it a pandemic at that time, it's going to be a pandemic. It's going to be a big issue, and MCO could last easily 2 months. The first thing that we thought of was the mental health of the child. We do not, you see, all practitioners here will tell you that any child below 6 years old, 0 to 6 is where the child learns, you know, they are absorbing, time is of the essence, it's the most critical time of their learning. So we do not want to disturb the mental health of the child, and we try not to have to rewire the child when they come back to school. Because if they've missed 2 months of school doing nothing or just doing little things, and when they come back in school, they have to learn 2 months plus 2 months of stuff. So basically they have to go and do 4 months, and the mental health of the children will be in trouble. You know, so one of the things that we actually do in our global classroom was that you can't even eat in the global classroom while attending class. You know, we have teachers actually spotting children who is eating. You know, you're going to have parents who are going to feed children and everything. No, Jerry, don't eat. It's not time for eating yet. Please concentrate, or please look at the screen, look at your teachers, you know. So what we want to do is to actually make sure that the mind, we don't need rewiring when the child comes back, so that the learning will continue and the mental health is preserved. That's the first thing that actually motivates us to do what we do. The second is, of course, to make sure that all our teachers are paid. So we need to make sure that the school is still running, and there will be a school after MCO, so that all the teachers' rice bowl will be protected. And that is very, very important. That's the reason why all the parents and teachers are working very hard with us, so that, you know, there is a school for the children to go back after MCO. So maybe Cheah can share some of his thoughts on this.
Okay. You have two. I think I have two as well. I don't know why we all have two. I don't think that we purposely have two. For me, actually, the driving force that come into our team is actually that the passion. What I have to mention here is actually the passion is the most important thing that for us, or even for my team, the teachers, to face the COVID-19. Because as I was been here from this industry for 21 years, I start from a preschool teacher, and now I'm handling a field school. And I found that actually the passion is really important to drive you whenever you're facing the challenge or difficulty. And I believe that some of you now, you're facing some difficulty when you ask the teacher to do online teaching, or even you want them to help to prepare anything. You will see some of the teachers are very willing to do. Whenever you ask them to do anything, they will say, okay, no problem, yeah, let's try. But some of them will tell you that, oh, this is too difficult, and this is not easy to do, and we can't do it, and even we do it, the parents won't appreciate it. They have a lot of reason or excuses to you. So for me, actually, this critical moment is also another reflection for you to really see that what is going on, and you can ask about yourself. Are you really have the passion? Are you passionate enough to really carry on and move on to overcome all the challenges that you're facing? And I believe that the willpower, if you have it, of course you're going to do it and you will overcome it. So number one, for me, the driving factor will be the passion. As our organization say, is that passion discover talent. So for me, I don't think I have any talent, but I really have the passion to work in this industry and really try to work it out. This is number one. And number two is actually that I believe that in our life, we have to be lifelong learning. Although that we have certain academic qualification from degree to master degree, even from PhD, but since that you are in this ECE industry, you need to be a lifelong learning person. If you don't have the lifelong learning concept, you will always stay there and in comfort with what you have. And when you fall into this situation, it's going to be a crisis for you. Just like now, suddenly the COVID-19 come and MCO was started, and we have to change our routine into a brand new routine. if you don't have the lifelong learning concept, I don't think that you can overcome it. Just like the beginning of this webinar, and when I was reading, it's a pleasure to meet you all, and I was reading it out it's a pleasure to meet you all. If let's say you don't have a lifelong learning concept, you will feel that it's a pressure. It's really a pressure at this moment. But if you have the right concept, I think that everything can be solved. And the last one is actually you have to think back why you want to choose to become a preschool teacher. Nobody force you. You are choosing something that you like. So just do it for the children. And I think that everything can be solved. I believe that. So this is my personal opinion. So what about Michelle?
Thank you, Cheah. I agree totally about the word passion. Yeah, everything. I think when you have chosen early childhood line, you have to have the passion. Yeah, that should be your driving force. Yeah, so having passion, that will drive you to be your best, be the best teacher for the children, because you are doing this for the children. And I always see when during this COVID-19 pandemic, we hear that we always say doctors, nurses, they are the frontliners. Yeah, they are keeping us safe. And I would like to say that early childhood teachers, you are also the frontliners, because you are there to keep the children safe at home. Yeah, whatever things that you are doing at home, keeping the children occupied with their learning, making activities that they can do with their parents, so that to keep the parents sane, and at the same time children get to learn in a fun way. You are also the frontliner, so you have to see yourself as you are doing a very meaningful job uh, as the frontliners, because you are preserving the family unit, which is important. Yeah, the child needs a healthy environment to grow and develop and learn, and to have a healthy family unit is very crucial. So now that the children cannot come to school to be with you, so what you can do is you need to work hand in hand with the parents, so that it is collaborating with parents to keep the family unit together. So you are the frontliners. So yes, you need passion. And of course, how do you know passion is enough? If you're passionate enough, you would want to be the best teacher. You would want to be a good teacher. So how do you know whether you are doing the right thing? Therefore, you need to have lifelong learning, like what Cheah was saying. Lifelong learning as a teacher, basically, the first requirement is, are you willing to learn? Yeah, if you are willing to learn, and you know to be a good teacher, you need to get yourself qualified. You need to know what is the right thing to do. You need to know what will allow the children to develop well. Yeah, so it's all about professionalism as well. So if you are willing to push yourself to do all that, it is you should be commended. Yeah, you are a good teacher. So that's my view. So back to you, Caroline.
Thank you, Michelle. I don't know what you all are feeling, but as I listen to the three speakers talk about their driving force, I am so wonderfully touched. It's like, to be honest, yes, we had a few rounds of rehearsals, but we never actually went through what everybody would say. And when I listened to what was just shared, oh, it is so heartwarming. Yeah, the passion that I can see in the three of you, and the passion is for the industry. The passion is for the children. And that is why there is this strong push for professionalism, yes, for lifelong learning. Yeah. And let's see whether we have a question that we can take. Yeah. Okay, we have a question here from CC, who is asking about professionalism. Oh, all right, yeah. It is, how do you measure professionalism? Is it the certificate that you hold, the hours of training, the level of education? What is professionalism? How do you measure it? I'm waiting for the hand to come up now so that I know who I will direct this question.
It's very intangible how to measure.
Michelle,
But
are you going to take?
Oh,
Who
sorry,
wants to
Jerry.
take this?
Yeah,
Jerry.
I can share with you my experiences
Okay,
on
Jerry.
how I feel. Of course, first you need to have at least a diploma, right? And then I think you can go to SEGi to get one.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, but no, joke aside, for children, they don't understand all this. For children, a professional teacher is someone that they can remember after 2 days. That's how I always tell my teachers, or that's how my senior staffers or partners tell my teachers. If a child can remember you after 2 days, then you mean something to the child. And you will be able to guide the child further. You know, that's how simple it's going to be. Children, it's very simple. They're not going to look at, you know, how many years of experience you have, but they just know, Mommy, I remember teacher Caroline told me that, you know, teachers have superpowers. Do you know that? You have superpowers. Parents have to call you at night to tell the child to sleep. You have superpowers, you know, you are superhuman beings. So of course, professionalism is very important. It's all about character, the right character. You know, like now, at this moment of time, your character will determine your professionalism. How you go through your classes, how much effort you put. You know, these are things that will make you professional. I mean, plus the paperwork that you actually need, basically. So maybe Cheah or Michelle will have something to add on to this.
Cheah. Oh, this side.
He did not raise his hands.
Okay. If you ask me, I think professionalism. I always play into three perspectives. Number one is actually from the perspective of the what we call academic or knowledge about theory. So in terms of we measure a ECCE educator, is the professional enough or not? Is from the academic side, we must measure them in terms of how deep or how understand they are of the theory of specifically in the child development. This is number one. If let's say from the academic side, but if let's say from the parents, they are having a different definition of a professional as a teacher. So, and from the boss perspective as well, that's another way. But what I'm care so much is actually about the children. If let's say if you are a professional teacher or educators, actually that you really know how to read the children's mind. You know what the children need, and you really know how to scaffold to let them learn from don't know until know, or don't understand until understand. And whatever question that they ask to you, you are able to communicate with them, not necessarily to be answered, but you are able to communicate with them, stimulating them and scaffold them to find the answer. So this is what I really want as like so many teachers come to our school to interview to apply the job. Actually, that what we want is actually teachers, which I meant professional, is the teachers who know the children in deep heart. You know, when they look at the children, they know that what's wrong with these children, how to deal with these children. This kind of teacher that I can say that they must be a professional. But of course, before they entering, they must get a diploma in early childhood. That is a minimum requirement. I agree with Jerry. Okay.
At SEGi.
Yes.
No. For your information, we are not paid to say this, okay? We are not paid to say this.
No, I have to say that.
We are not paid to say this. Just to get it clear.
To me, the word professionalism is just like a doctor is a professional, right? So doctors need qualification. So what makes early childhood teachers not needing qualification? So the first requirement is qualification. You need a qualification to be able to have the knowledge and the skill to call yourself walking towards professionalism, right? So, and of course, doctors, you need to go through housemanship. That is your training. So you need to work, gain experience, and have the right attitude. So, and to be professional, you don't need people to govern you. A professional early childhood educator, you can govern yourself. You know what is the right thing to do. You don't even need parents to tell you, or your boss to tell you that, oh, you are doing such a good thing. You know you are doing the right thing. So that is professionalism. Yeah. So of course, first step, you must get the knowledge lah. So do consider SEGi, okay?
Okay. It was a tough question on professionalism, and there is consensus from everybody that you need to have the necessary paper qualification. And right now in Malaysia, the minimum qualification that you must have is a diploma in early childhood. But it is just the first step. There are going to be a whole lot more things that you will need to have, which is what our industry advisors here, Jerry and Cheah, have spoken about. Yeah, so that with the intangible qualities, yes, that I think Michelle mentioned earlier on, then you can be what was mentioned, but I think it's Jerry, unforgettable. Then you can become unforgettable. When we take in students to our college for the early childhood programs, we always tell them, yes, it is not easy to be in early childhood. And now when we are hit with COVID-19, it is like so much more difficult to be an early childhood professional. Michelle kept talking about doing things right. You got to know it so that you will do it right. You got to want to be right. And that's where the passion comes in. Yeah. And when you have all these things, then you can be, like what Cheah said, you have to be so in tune. You have to be so sensitive. Yeah. So it's a tough industry. And I had the opportunity to sit in one of the meetings with parents, yes, with the school, and the parent actually appreciated, after spending a few weeks with the children, their own children, yeah, they came and they told us, I really salute the teachers in the school. Now, I really take my hats off to you, because you are able to do all those things with them, yes, and 2-3 days or 1 week with our children at home, yeah, it's so tough. So we should actually give ourselves a pat on our backs. Yes, good job done. We are in an industry that is really great. Yes, Jerry, what do you want to say?
Can I add this? It's tough, but it's rewarding at the end of the day. You forget that rewarding part. It's seriously rewarding. Definitely. It's worth your time.
Okay, yeah. So I would like to thank our speakers for their sharing. Maybe we can take 1 or 2 more questions. Yes. Let's see. It's question time now. So as we are looking for the questions that we want to ask our esteemed speakers, if you have found this session insightful, if you have been inspired by the stories and the experiences that have been shared by our 3 speakers, tell us. Yeah. Tell us in the chat box, yes, if this session has been of use to you. If there are questions that we still haven't answered, give us those questions that you want us to look at. Yeah. So we are waiting for the questions to come on. Yeah. Okay, I think this is what they call dead air time. Very, very uncomfortable. Yes. So Jerry, how do you find the session so far?
It was wonderful. We were allowed to say what we want to say. That's very important. and I hope, you see, there is so much you can do for each and every child. Like Cheah's school, I know he has a big school. There is so much that he can do for the number of children. It takes everyone to do for everybody. It doesn't take one good school. We need all schools to be good. So that's the reason why Cheah, me, and here I can say for Cheah that we have nothing to be secretive about. We can share whatever we do because we feel that everyone should be doing something good for children, and if everybody can do that, well, why not?
A very good point, Jerry, because I can't remember exactly when, but maybe a few weeks ago, we had a session by one of our speakers from a partner university, and this was from University of Sunderland. This was Dr. Derek Watson, and he was looking at how businesses can stay afloat. And one of the things that he proposed, yes, was that you need to work together with your competitors. This is not the time to compete. Yes, if you want to be on that road to recovery, yes, we can't be fighting each other. Yes, we need to be working together, pulling our resources together, yes, sharing our knowledge, helping each other out. And at the end of the day, we do it for the children. Am I right or not, Cheah?
Yeah. We have one what I call research that I mentioned in one of my sharing. Is that if we put all the good person and they all compete to each other, will they come out a higher productivity? Just like you gather a group of expert or elite group person, will it produce higher productivity or not? Actually, the result is reverse. You cannot put all the good people and they all will start compete to each other. When they start compete to each other, they will start trying to think about how to destroy each other at the same time. So that's why I agree on what you say, or the professor say that in the research. Actually, we need to, if you want the ECCE industry to be greater and better, it's good that we share. And I noticed that the ECCE Council is one of the good platform where we can share. Just like Jerry, you share in the ECCE Council. I think it will benefit quite a lot of person. And also that we also trying to share many things, because when you share, people will come and comment you. When they comment you, it's actually give you more feedback rather than you just sitting there doing yourself and you don't know what is right or wrong, or you don't know what is happening outside the industry. So I think that the sharing part is very important. I think as a ECCE educator in this very specific industry, we should hold hand together and really help each other. We don't really go and talk about how much you earn 1 month, how you going to cut 50% and then you still survive. We don't ask those sensitive questions, but we talking about how to make our industry sustainable. And after this tsunami concept, actually that the ecosystem is going to build up, getting better and better. Just like the forest fire in Australia, if you notice, this is another kind of a nature phenomena where they can destroy the ecosystem. But after the fire forest, it will make the what you call the forest growing even better. So this critical moment come in. This pandemic doesn't mean that it's going to destroy our ECCE industry. This is not what I'm trying to tell you or what I'm trying to scare you. But what I'm trying to mention here is actually that this is another opportunity for you to make the changes. Just like that, previously you might not want to step into all these what you call apps, all this digital learning, digital management, and you still feel that I have a few more years to go and I will take my time. But suddenly, out of this pandemic and also the MCO, you was forced to move faster or move forward that you expected. So this is a good chance that for you to change. Since you want to change or you still want to transform, why not take this good opportunity to do a better and great kindergarten with a more children-based curriculum? This is what I'm thinking. I totally agree what Karen said. Okay.
I think we probably, okay, here's a question. Yes. All right, this is a question from Catherine. Yes, and Catherine wants to know how we can deal with parents who don't respond to teachers during the live session or even shared record lessons plus worksheets. Okay, it's like parents who are not working together with you. How can you win them over?
You want an honest answer? You ask Jerry.
Okay, Jerry, tell us. Mr. Cheah has learned
I
to
don't want to be bashed up in Penang, man. I mean, Catherine, based on your question, okay, personally, this is my personal opinion. Okay, don't quote me wrong. I think you give parents too much option. You have live lessons and you have shared recordings. I believe you just should do one of the other so that parents feel that there is an urgency to do it. And of course, you also need to tell parents why you're doing it, understanding with them. I share with you a case, very simple case from my school. Two parents working from home not from home. They are working during MCO, and then basically, they can't go online because then we found that first they told us that there was not enough equipment. They don't have enough smartphones or whatever. So my teacher went to tell them and said, look, we have iPads from school. Do you want us to send us an iPad to you? And then after that, then the next question come in, now they're staying with their grandmother. So the grandmother don't know how to use iPad. So we actually actually approached the parents and said, can we send a teacher to your house to teach the grandma how to set up Zoom so that she can just log in into Zoom? So these are things that, that we do, basically to try to get everybody involved on board. But of course, it's not always a success story. You can have people who will say no, you can have people who will not agree with you. I guess you just need to move on. I think. So, yeah, that would be the brutal answer. That you just need to move on.
So, Mr. Cheah, how?
How? I have to go. I have to. I think I also have some parents who are not interested to join the online or live session. I believe that the parents have their own reason. Okay, as Jerry say, some of them they don't have a gadget, they don't have the equipment, or some of them even need to go to work. Okay, now they are allowed to go to work, so some of the parents cannot join the classes anymore. So my personal opinion is actually that if let's say the parents talk to me and give me a very solid reason that why he can't, and of course we have to go and call them and understand it. This is not my job, but my teacher will call them and to try to understand what is going on, why is it my class not interesting or whatever. So they have to go and understand the situation. Once they understand it's actually the reason and it's really out of their control. And I think that actually what we need to do is we don't want to struggle or still get around to understand why she don't want to join, how was it. No, actually I don't want the teacher to struggle on that. I want the teacher to start thinking that how can we help or carry on our lesson when this child coming back, which means that this period, let's say example, the school is going to open another 2 more weeks later, and in these two weeks the child doesn't attend any online lesson or the teacher is not following up with them. So in our mind is actually that how can we carry on the lesson closer to these specific children. This is what we are thinking, because in one class, not only one, I believe that we have maybe 2 or 3. So these are the group of children that we are thinking that when they come back, what are we going to do on helping them? This is, I think, is a more critical to think, rather than just keep asking why, and struggling with the question that why she don't want to join, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't want to think about it. I will looking forward. This is my personal opinion.
Okay. Michelle, I'm going to skip you because I know that there's another question coming out.
Yeah. Okay.
How would you advise teachers? Okay, this is from Wen Ting. Thank you, Wen Ting. How would you advise teachers on how to teach children about social distancing, especially when they are as young as 2 to 3? Michelle didn't get a chance to speak just now, so I'm going to throw this question to you, Michelle.
Okay.
Social distancing, 2 to 3-year-olds.
Okay. How would you advise teacher on how to teach? I think the teacher needs training first. The teacher needs to learn how to do social distancing, and you have to set up your center properly, and you need to do a lot of practice with children. You need to tell them why we are doing this, because it's like, how come now when I return to school, this school is so cold, and how come I can't sit with my friends? It has to be properly explained to them. Yeah. So it will take time to get used to. Yeah. So yeah, maybe
Michelle,
sharing.
maybe I can just put in something.
Mhm.
Another sharing from my side. We deliberate a lot on this in school, in our on our meetings, our administrator meetings, teachers meetings. One of the things that we're actually doing is actually, I mean, schools can actually follow this. Is like, after MCO, post MCO, when the schools are open, we will actually sanitize the child using our portable sanitizing machine outside the premises of the school before they enter. So we sanitize the whole body, and then we sanitize the shoes, we sanitize their bags. But one thing we're doing differently is that once the child enter the school premises, they are going to go shower immediately. So we actually shower them before they start school. So the whole idea was, for those younger ones, they can still touch each other a bit, and it's but they're all clean up, they're all shower. But this takes a lot of energy, a lot of work, because then you're gonna have a lot of people lining up for showers, things like that. But these are some of the strategies that I can share with you that we're actually doing in my school post MCO. Hopefully it works. We have not tested it, so I have no crystal ball. I'm not sure whether this is going to work, but this is what we're doing. We're going to shower every single child before they start lesson, so that even though if they have a bit of touching, social connection, I think it will be minimized, because we already shower them from head to toe. Of course, that will take a lot of manpower. That will take a lot of time. I mean, that will be another issue that you might need to be aware of if you want to do this. So, Cheah, maybe what you're going to do? Build a $500 machine. I saw that machine.
That's why I chose not to start the school now.
Yeah.
I think back to Kelly.
Okay, I'm not sure whether we have any more questions. Oh, yes, okay. And this will be the last question that we can take, because we have been at it for like 1.5 hours already. And I am so pleased to say that the people who have joined us from the start, yes, are still with us. Yeah. Okay, this is a question from a parent. Yeah. So, Michael, I'm a parent and I wish to start my career with ECCE. How should I proceed? Can the ECCE Council assist new operators on this? Okay, I'm going to throw this question to Mr. Cheah. Newcomer into the industry, a parent who wants to be in the industry, and I salute you, Michael, because we have been talking about how tough it is and how tough it will continue to be. Yes, and yet you want to still join us, which means you have the passion. So, Cheah, how can the council help?
Sorry, just now the line was bad, right? Did you hear everything? I can't hear what you say just now.
Cheah, can you see the question on the screen?
Yeah. Oh, how the council can assist a new operator on this, right?
Yes.
Okay. How? First, you have to be registered as a council member. Am I honest enough? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is number one. And then actually in the council, there are most of the members are professional. Most of them are having a qualification minimum of diploma. Actually, inside there they have lecturers like Caroline, like Michelle. Then they also have practitioners like me and Jerry, and also others like our Miss Patricia. All of us are in the council. Actually, you can just what I call throw in some question and send the email to them and tell them that what you want to do. And I think that our council admin will be able to direct you to the right person to guide you on this matter. But before that, you really what I call, are you serious and really think about it? Because because I from 21 years of experience, actually I want to advise you is that you have to be very, very serious if you really want to do. If not, you are going to quit very, very fast because this industry is not easy to handle. This is my personal opinion. I don't know about what you call Jerry. What do you think?
You want an honest answer, right? I'm not paid to say this. First thing, you need to get a form from SEGi to register your diploma in education first. That'll be the first thing you need to do, Michael. Man, joke aside. I mean, yes, I have the opportunity to work with the council many times throughout these 2-3 years, and I can say that they're very professional. They are very well connected and into the government. I mean, they do have good resources. People like Cheah. I mean, we were in China with Cheah and Caroline. You can actually see a lot of they organize good trips to visit kindergartens. The last was in China, I believe, in Shanghai homes. I mean, my Mandarin is bad, so yeah, so I think there is more than just answers that council can give you. The council can actually give you more than that. They can actually give you fellowship, friends. I know Cheah from the trip from China, actually, right? So and it lasts so long. We become friends and we learn a lot along the way. And you can only do it with the council where they are allowed. I think there's one kindergarten that we went. I think the Songqing Kindergarten in China. That one is not an easy kindergarten to go in. You have to be the government sort of link organization before you get allowed to actually walk into the premises of the school. And we were greeted by the principal itself. We were given a tour, no holds barred tour. They share with us everything. So I think the council has more to give. Just only not only advice. The council can give you more than that. I'm very sure. So please, join the council if you can. And of course, you have to register with SEGi first or to get your diploma.
Yes, Michael, because one of the conditions of being a member of the ECCE Council is that you need to hold at least a diploma in early childhood. And any student who is studying on any early childhood programs in any institution can also be a student member. Yeah, because this is the last question, I'm going to let Michelle also have something to say.
Sorry, what was the question? Oh, no question, right?
No, this is the same question. Yes, the parent who wants to come in and who wants to come into this industry. Yes, you really must have, Michael, a lot of passion and patience. And so, what is your advice for him?
Okay, it is very rare for a male. I think it's a male, right? Yes, to join ECCE profession. But tonight we have 2 gentlemen. But because usually when we have students out of many intakes, sometimes we will get one male student. So for those who really join, they really must have the passion for it. Yeah. So if you really feel that you really want to go into this line, find out more first before you step in. Yeah. Find out more from industry leaders like Jerry and Cheah, and also of course attend webinars like this to understand more if this is for you. You look at the challenges that we are facing now. Yeah, so is this for you? If you really have the passion, then nothing can stop you. Yeah.
Well said, Michelle. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is an industry that is going to face tough times ahead. This is an industry that is going to need good people. We need people with the knowledge. We need people with the passion. We need people who will give more than they can ever give. Yes. And when we have that, our future, I can see, I got crystal ball, yeah. Our future will be bright. Our future will be bright, but there are going to be lots of conditions that we would need to meet. So on that note, I really would like to thank our esteemed speakers. We have got Mr. Cheah, 21 years of industry experience. Jerry, the new kid on the block, 10 years. Yes, but doing so
The
well
young
up in
one,
Penang.
the young one,
Yeah,
the
the
young
young
one.
one, the young one. Then you have to call the other one the old one already. Yeah,
I did not
and
say that,
Michelle. Yeah, so Michelle, my dear Michelle. Yes, so thank you very much for all that you have so honestly shared with our viewers. Yeah, so there are a few more slides, yes, that I need to go through. Yes, so if you liked what you heard today, yes, I know that there are so many more questions that we haven't yet answered. So not to worry, we will be having a free ECCE webinar every month. It is the ECCE Insights. ECCE Insights will be held at 8:30 p.m. on the first Friday of each month. Our next session will focus on the sustainability of ECCE services when we reopen. So this is going to happen on the 5th of June. So scan that code there, yes, so that you can be updated on the ECCE seminar. Yeah, there is also something else that you can join. You can join our Telegram group. The Telegram group will keep you updated on our free webinars so that you don't have to keep on checking on our Facebook and website. Yes, our Facebook actually got quite a lot of interesting things. Yes, so you're most welcome to come in and check in on our Facebook, see what is the latest. But if you don't have the time, yes, join our Telegram group, and then we will have a big community where we can actually keep each other updated. Yes, so that would be it. So moving on to the next one, I know that we have received requests from people who would like to have a certificate of participation or attendance. So if you would like that certificate, can you please also scan that code over there? But one thing I need to remind everyone, because we are churning out quite a number of certificates, the system requires you to ensure that you key in the correct IC number. You need to key in your IC number correctly, because to access that cert, which will be sent to you within this month, or rather 30 days from now, yes, you need to use your IC number. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, members of the ECC industry, we have come to the end of today's session. Once again, if you felt that this session has been really inspiring and insightful, please join me in thanking our wonderful speakers, Cheah, Jerry, Michelle. It has been a little bit more than, it's almost 2 hours, yes. Yeah, but we have hung in there, and we can see the thank you messages coming in. So keep them coming in. And so on behalf of the SEGi group of colleges, I thank our speakers, and I thank each and every one of you, all 387 of you who are on YouTube. I'm not sure how many more of you are listening to us through FB Live. If I check here, then I will be told that I am very fidgety. So I'm not going to check. I'm just going to look at the camera and wish each and every one of you a very good night. And let's hope that the future of ECCE in Malaysia is going to be tough, but we are tougher than that, and we are going to make it. Good night, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Cheah. Thanks, Caroline.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay
Bye.
safe, stay hopeful, stay connected. We'll see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.